Hello, welcome back, you guys, to my channel. I know it's been over a week, and I know I always promise to do a video every few days, but it has been a very challenging couple of weeks. A very challenging day yesterday, and I have not been doing well at all, emotionally or with this process that I'm in. Every time around this year, around October, I really struggle with depression. And the reason is yesterday was the anniversary of my firstborn daughter's death. And this is always an extremely challenging period of time for me. Even when I try not to get depressed and know that I'm gonna get through it, I can tell you that the death of a child is not anything that I would ever wish on any of you guys. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, the things that I've been through. It's been a very long time. I was in my early 20s when I had her, and that was my first experience with pregnancy and childbirth, and she was stillborn at 40 weeks. So yesterday was the anniversary of that. I really just tend to shut down when it comes around, really from about mid-October until I get through the day to today. I'm just really kind of inside myself and keep to myself and isolate myself just so that I can think through it and grieve and get to this day and move forward. So just being transparent with you guys on what's going on. I've just really been struggling, and depression is never fun, and not eating is never a good idea. And when I get depressed and stressed, I don't eat. The Halloween candy was an issue for me with the depression. So I did eat Halloween candy and beat myself up over it every single morning. When I gained another 2 pounds, I beat myself up. Now they're gone again. So I've decided to just stop weighing myself, and I'm just gonna have to gauge how successful I'm being through, my clothes and my jeans and, wearing a belt and stuff. So I'm not perfect, and I'm gonna make mistakes, and there are gonna be times where I just am challenged and am not going to be doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing. And I realize that this is a second chance to get a hold of everything. I worked out yesterday and I worked out the day before. So, I'm getting myself together as much as I can. I'm going to work out again this afternoon. I've got plans to do that. But this is a hard journey. And when you have outside stressors like this and you're dealing with depression and anxiety, it can really get you off track. And that's really how I feel. I'm having to really gauge and take in my protein shakes because I'm not eating. And that's just as bad as binge eating. Honestly, it's no better than binging on food that we're not supposed to eat. I'm really having some challenges with how eating makes me feel after the surgery too. It's incredibly painful if I don't stop at a certain point. Not that I'm overfilling, but just the digestion process. I know that I'm still healing from surgery, but it's a very uncomfortable feeling when I put heavier foods in there other than protein shakes. So I'm really struggling with that and how it feels after I eat. So I think I've got some fear in actually eating, heavier things like chicken and steak. Even chicken's not even that heavy, but to me, with the digestion process and how it feels going down into my stomach, I'm really having some challenges with that. And I'm going to talk to my doctor about it. I'm sure that it's absolutely normal. I went and bought some Prilosec to keep with me to see if that kind of helps settle my stomach. But they think that this is really just one of the challenges post-surgery is getting used to this new stomach that we have, getting used to eating the way we eat. I still haven't ordered a child's meal. I'm taking stuff home. I'm taking more than a half a meal home, and then I end up not eating it. So it's an absolute waste of food. And I really should just be ordering off the kids menu or splitting a dish with my daughter because, I can only take in 4 or 5 bites max before I feel miserable. Saturday was really tough. I didn't eat as I normally did, and I posted about this on Instagram. I didn't eat anything Saturday and went all the way until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon when I went to lunch with my daughter and her best friend. And I ate some chicken, and it immediately made me sick. My stomach had been empty all overnight and all the way up until 2 o'clock. I didn't drink a shake. I didn't have any coffee. I didn't have anything in my stomach, and I was immediately sick and in the bathroom. And that's not a place that I like to be. I don't enjoy throwing up. It's not a fun feeling. You guys, if you've had dumping syndrome, you understand what that's like. This honestly wasn't dumping syndrome. This was just something that hit my stomach, and I was immediately sick. And I know it's because my stomach was empty, and I really have to do a better job of making sure that I eat and making sure, I take great care of my daughter. And I think I really have to focus on taking great care of myself too. And I'm not good at that. I've never been good at that. I'm also not good at letting other people take care of me. And, it's really hard for me to ask for help. Luckily, I have friends. My best friend will ask me if I need help without me having to ask her. So she's great about that. My family will always ask me if I need anything. But I'm not good at reaching out to people and asking for any help. I'm also having a lot of back pain right now. I have a couple of nerve ablations coming up in November and December again. I had them done a year ago, and they lasted about a year, almost a year. And now it's worn off, and I have sciatica from the damage in my back. I have a cage and screws in my back, a full 360-degree fusion, and a stimulator, a spinal cord stimulator for pain. So I've got a lot of hardware in my body, and the cold weather makes it 100% worse. So I'm trying to manage that. I'm trying to remember this new process of eating. I'm trying to make sure that I don't throw up, make sure that I'm taking in the right amount of protein, and get through a period of grief that's hard for me every year. And I have just been feeling out of control. And, I'm super honest with you guys when I'm struggling. And right now, I'm struggling. I feel much better today than I have over the past probably 3 weeks. So it's almost like I have to get through yesterday, and then I can start to focus again on the things that I need to do. So that's what I'm going to do moving forward. This is not easy. This is not the easy way out. Anybody that tells us that, I've had to correct a couple of people that the surgery and the recovery is not easy, and relearning how to eat and what to eat after 20 years of bad habits is not easy. And I beat myself up at every turn, and it shouldn't be like this. I shouldn't feel this bad. And I still have some body dysmorphia going on. I did a slideshow that's over on my Instagram of my heaviest weight, which was at my son's graduation, and right before this surgery, I was way up there. March, I was actually even bigger, all the way down to my last photo. And it took me actually looking at that and putting that together to actually see how much progress I've made and how much weight I've lost, because I don't see it. And we've got body dysmorphia. We are going to continue to see a heavy person in the mirror and a failure in the mirror until we get some help. Whether that's therapy for you, I think it's time for me to go back to therapy and work through this, because bariatric surgery is a big deal. I didn't have to have the evaluation that people had that have insurance cover this. And I think it's a good idea for me to go and talk to somebody, because I'm relearning how to eat. I'm going to meet with my dietitian also and see if she can put some quick and easy things for me together. I know I can find stuff on Pinterest, you guys, but I feel like if it comes from her as the dietitian and nutritionist, that I'll probably stick to it a little bit better. I'm doing everything I can to get protein in. I haven't lost any hair. I don't know how that's possible, but I haven't. My skin's starting to look better. I am staying hydrated. I've improved on that. So when I say I'm not eating, it doesn't mean I'm not drinking water, but it's still not good. And I know it's not good. This is the cycle that I've been caught in for the last 20 years of my body storing fat because it feels like it's in starvation mode. And a lot of people can't understand this feeling of not eating. A lot of people that have this surgery are on the opposite end of the binge eating process. And I can binge eat right now if I wanted to. I would absolutely throw up. Like, the idea of bread and all of that, I'm nauseous all the time, and I just don't feel well. So this is challenging, and I know I'm going to get through it. I know that I'll feel better. I know that I've gone through an episode of grief, and I've been really struggling. So it's just time for me to pick myself up by my bootstraps, which I have my boots on today, and pull my britches up and get going and do what I need to do. This is a struggle. This is a struggle for me, and I know it's a struggle for you guys too. And that's why I want you to see that I'm struggling and that this isn't coming easy to me. A lot of people on YouTube that'll put, the happy, peppy, positive videos out there that everything is great and my whole life is wonderful since I've had this surgery. Well, I feel amazing and I look amazing given the weight that I was at in March of this year, but it's hard. And I am not happy-go-lucky about this every day. I am grateful that I gave myself this opportunity at a new healthy life. And I don't want to squander that, but life gets in the way of being perfect at this. And I am far from perfect. I am the least perfect person on this planet. So I want you to know that if you're struggling, I am too. And I want to get on here and be honest with you guys about that struggle because it's hard. And, trying to cut out sugar, trying to make sure I get enough protein, get enough water. We're all struggling with this right now. And it's, change is hard for anybody. And that's what I'm struggling the most with right now is eating the right things. Eating it all is what I'm struggling with. And it's incredibly frustrating. And then when I do eat, I'm ordering full-size meals and wasting money on it. So that money could be put towards something else. So I really got to start focusing on these tiny portions and ordering the small portions. And I'm not embarrassed to order a kid's meal. I don't care. If somebody wanted to give me any shit about ordering off the kids menu and saying I'm too old, I know there's a card I can get from Dr. Carlton's office, but I would straight up set them straight, and order it. I just need to do it. And it's that relearning of not ordering a meal and understanding that you're not going to be able to eat but maybe 3 or 4 bites of it and then you're done. So I'm relearning things just like you guys are, and it's hard. It's really hard. So hopefully my next video that I do for you guys, I'll be back to my normal peppy self and, motivating and reporting weight loss because I don't have any to report today. I haven't weighed myself. Like I said, the scale is beating me to death and it is overwhelming and frustrating, and I'm going to stop stepping on it. I really am. And like I said, I'm going to gauge my weight loss by my clothes, which has been happening. This is an extra large shirt. It's tucked in. I've got my belt on. I've got my jeans on. I don't know what else to say, you guys, other than this is hard. And I hope that you guys are being more successful than I am because I feel like a failure right now with all of this. Thanksgiving's coming up. Let's talk about Thanksgiving. So I follow a lot of people that have had VSG on YouTube. And I follow a lot of people that have had VSG on Instagram, and they are so inspiring. But I saw a girl yesterday, and I can't remember who it was. She had her Thanksgiving plate from last year, and it had this little piece of turkey and a little piece of sweet potato and like 3 kernels of corn and a couple of green beans. And it's like, Thanksgiving is coming, and Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, more than Christmas, more than Halloween, definitely more than Valentine's Day. But Thanksgiving is my jam, y'all. And I'm only going to be able to eat like 4 bites of stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I'm really stressing myself out over that. And, I know I'm going to have my sister-in-law and my family there that they'll be able to encourage me and be able to help me. But my gosh, 1 piece of turkey like this big. I know I need to focus on protein, get my protein in first, and I always do that. I'm always eating more protein than my vegetables and stuff like that. I'm struggling with my vitamins. I'm not taking my vitamins. I hate them. And so I'm going to have to find something new that I can take. But Thanksgiving coming up, it's it's anxiety for me that I've never dealt with before. So I'd really love to see your stories about Thanksgiving. If there's anybody out there following me that's already had VSG and you've already been through it last year, I'd love to hear your story, or over on Instagram on what your plans are for Thanksgiving. And I'll put a post there on Instagram. It's gastric sleeved superwoman with underscores between gastric and sleeve. And I'll put it on the screen so you guys will have it. But I would really love to hear what your plans are for Thanksgiving. And I'll put a post out there for you guys to post underneath. And I'll try to find the post with the plate because it was so funny. And I was like, oh my God, this is my biggest nightmare. Biggest nightmare in my favorite holiday is not being able to go into a turkey coma and eat until, my heart's content. But that's what got me to the place of having to have VSG in the first place. So I hope you guys have a great week. The holidays are coming up. I'm going to do everything I can do to post as much as I can. This is just so challenging, and I don't do well with failure, and I am my hardest critic. There's nobody out there that can put me down better than I can put myself down, and it's something that I really think I need. It's time for me to get some help with, because I'm hard on myself, and I'm harder on myself than I am on anybody else on this planet, and I've got to learn how to undo that and be proud of myself. And I have a lot of challenges doing that. So I'll post again soon, you guys. I promise. I'll let you know if I've lost weight. I may have to step on the scale by the weekend. We'll see, but I don't know about the pounds and counting them. I've decided that I'm a slow loser. I'm going to talk to Dr. Carlton about it, and that's just all I can do with it. So again, please subscribe, turn the notifications on if you want to be notified when I post a new video. I really enjoy doing this and sharing with you guys what's going on with my life and the challenges that I'm going through. And it's so nice to know that I'm not alone. I'm up over 100 followers, which is fun. I know there's people out there with millions of followers, but just having you guys here and knowing that you're either going through the same journey that I'm going through or planning on it makes me feel like I'm not alone. And I just genuinely appreciate everybody that tunes in. So thanks a bunch, you guys. Have a good week, and I'll post again soon. Bye.